You've learned to link your turns, and now you're connecting your heel and your toe edge without falling flat on your face every 5 seconds. Good work, you've done the hardest part, and I mean that. But don't stop now. Don't become like most snowboarders who get here and then never learn any new movement patterns and sequences. And you're gonna see a lot of riders like this, riders with a limited toolkit, trying to make the most out of those movements that they first learn as a beginner. And they're only really gonna get you so far. You will improve, sure, but in progressing onto steeper and more challenging terrain, you will likely adopt bad habits to get you out of sketchy situations. And whilst they might kind of get you by in the short term, you will eventually need some more tools in your bag. So in today's video, I'm going to run you through some simple exercises that will give you those tools and allow you to change a few things within your riding that will quickly move you out of the beginner snowboarder phase. Beginner turns are really defined by a lack of grip or excess skidding. So the first thing we need to do is make sure we have some edge hold at the end of every turn. So I want you to begin with a quick drill where you bring the board to a stop. You don't need to hold it there for long, just a moment. It is quite difficult, but in bringing the board to a stop, you will not only naturally start making the movements to create more edge angle, but you will also be stacking your body and positioning your weight more effectively over your edge. You can think about stacking your hips vertically over the edge of the board, getting down low, feeling your shins pressing into the front of your boots for your toe edge, or feeling the back of your legs resting against the high backs for your heel edge. But crucially, for both edges, you should find yourself leaning your overall center of mass in towards the hill. Next, I want you to take that feeling and those same movements that you used to bring the board to a stop, but now you simply carry your gaze across the slope and carry your momentum across the slope in a clean, gripped traverse. You shouldn't find this too difficult, but really make sure that you can get this. You don't quite need a perfect pencil-thin carve line, but your board should definitely be gripping in the snow, and you shouldn't find yourself losing height on the mountain. Sink down, relax, lean into the slope, and you'll have it. That drill is essential for really moving past those beginner turns, because the next step is to be able to roll the board from one edge to another. And this is how you can spot good riders. They just roll the board effortlessly from edge to edge. And you might have even tried this yourself, only to find yourself catching an edge and feeling like a total beginner once again. And every time you just try to flip that board quickly over, bam, you catch that edge. And you will always catch an edge if you try to make that movement from a skid. But as soon as you get that grip traverse across the hill, it's simple and you can safely just roll the board from one edge to another. So to get more technical, we're looking to make an edge change without the board rotating. Now, this sounds a little bit confusing, but picture an arrow pointing out over the nose of your board. At the edge change, that arrow keeps pointing in the same direction. The board rolls over, but it doesn't rotate. Whereas in this beginner turn, as the board is changing edge, it is also being rotated, which stops the side cut of the board engaging and leads to skidding. So really focus on edge change and then turn. A big part of what we are trying to do here is to get you engaging the side cut, the curve of your board. And once you do that, it will start to pull you through the turn. Think edge change, then turn. I cannot bang that in enough. Okay, so what movements do we need to make to be able to do this? Well, let's go back to that stop drill that we began with, and you should have found yourself adopting two different positions, one for the heels and one for the toes. And to roll the board smoothly from one edge to the other, you need to simply pass your hips over the top of the board, which will allow you to change between these two positions. And really try not to think about pushing yourself over or thrusting your hips back and forth. Instead, just try to really fall and let gravity pull you over the top of the board. An analogy that I quite like to use is to imagine that you have a string attached to your belly button and someone is simply pulling on that string to help draw your hips and center of mass across the board at every edge change. From toes to heels, they're pulling you from behind, through your body, through that belly button, hips come over the board, and from heels to toes, that string pulls your hips forward like that. And by implementing these movements, you should suddenly start to be riding so much better. You should be making much smoother S-shaped turns that not only bring more control to your riding, but more fluidity and satisfaction too. And if you really want to improve your riding, and if you want more information on exactly how to get it right, all the precise movements that will not just allow you to do this, but also get so much further with your snowboarding afterwards, then I've developed a complete online snowboard course that runs you through a linear progression of drills and exercises that will have you really perfecting your turns and getting the most out of your board. It covers so much more than what I'm able to achieve in these videos, and as a learning tool, I'm incredibly proud of it. So if you're interested, you can find out more through the link down below. Okay, so that's part one of moving out of the beginner stage. It was all about finding grip, which then allows you to find that sensation of rolling the board from one edge to another without rotating or skidding it. Now, as we continue, I want to give you more technical input into how we can refine this basic sequence to allow you to really manipulate the arc of the turn, thus allowing you to create turns of any size and shape, which is really how you start to be able to find control in any situation. And the short answer is what I commonly call knee steering. I will go over it briefly now, but it's something that I've covered more extensively in other videos that I'll link down below. And it is, of course, a big part of my online course if you want it broken down in the most detail possible. We're just building upon what you've already done, but now I want you to imagine dividing yourself in half by the zipper of your jacket. And that crossing we made with your hips over the top of the board, that is still gonna happen, but now it's going to happen over your front foot first, followed by your back foot. So over this side of my jacket and then this side of my jacket, giving me a 1, 2, 1, 2 movement. So looking at me side on, you can still see that my hips pass over the board, my hip over the front foot, and then my hip over the back foot. Hip over the front foot, hip over the back foot. And what you'll notice, what this does, by leading every edge change with your front hip, as you pull that hip over the top of your board, it creates a bit of separation, a bit of rotation, where your upper body is turned just ahead of the board. And then as your back hip follows over, you become more back in line. At the edge change, my front hip goes in first, there's a little bit of rotation with my upper body, and then my back hip follows. Now, the reason I normally refer to this as knee steering is that even though it is my hips passing over the board, and I've talked about my hips because that's kind of where we started, you can really see the knees moving more than anything. But it is a movement that is essentially all the joints in your front leg, your ankle, your knee, and your hip passing over the board, but independently with the leg of your front foot followed with the leg of your back foot. Yoo. And this movement is brilliant for a number of reasons. It allows you to maintain pressure under part of the board whilst releasing it under others, meaning that you never have an edge change with any moment where the board is not gripping in the snow. You can direct that grip to exactly where you want it on the board to allow you to get the most performance out of different parts of the turn. And the rotation that is created through your body as you lead into every turn with your front foot and hip creates a separation between your upper and lower body that allows you to pull your board back against yourself and make smaller, tighter turns. Now, that's a sales pitch, and don't worry if some of that went over your head. Just try and feel this 1, 2, 1, 2 count that I feel at every edge change, where it really is edge change under the front foot, followed by edge change under the back foot. 1, 2, 1, 2. Get that rhythm going in your head. All right, now I began by talking about your toolkit. And with these relatively simple movements, you'll have greatly expanded your toolkit, because getting better at riding isn't just about getting in your practice time or some arbitrary 10,000 hours. It's about being intentional with your time on snow, constantly learning new moves and refining your skills to keep pushing your limits. So hone these new movements in on terrain you're comfortable with, and then start taking them to more challenging terrain and conditions. And once you're starting to get comfortable with those movements, well, then you can start working through some of my more challenging drills videos that will only further help you cement those movements in place. Once again, that is all linked down below or up here. And guys, don't forget to shout me your goals for this season in the comments. I love reading through them. Roll on winter, let's go. Sweet.